Beyond Lifetimes. Blood and Fires of the Phoenix. Chapter 15 Part 1. Eternal Oasis of Love. The Awakening. Lyra woke Nathan before the first light of dawn.
My love, it's time. Let's go to Valemont. I haven't set foot in our world since Roy died 5 years ago. 60 years have passed there. I am not going there as Empress. I won't go to the palace. Let Olivia sit on that throne a little longer. I can take it back whenever I wish. We will go straight to Embervale, your kingdom, the place I want to call home. I will go there not as your sovereign, but as your woman.
Nathan stood without another word and began to change.
We don't need to go to the falls. I am Valemont. I can open the portal anywhere.
She lifted her hand, the air folded. Light split the room like a veil being drawn aside, and through it they saw Valemont, vast forests of living emerald, gold rivers flowing upward into the sky, and the distant glow of cities that pulsed like constellations anchored to the earth. They stepped through. The moment their feet touched Valamontian soil, the realm recognized its axis. Light wrapped around them, warm, sentient, ceremonial. Lyra's mortal garments dissolved into threads of fire and gold. She stood clothed in a regal battle gown of deep phoenix red and ivory. The bodice shaped in flowing gold filigree that resembled unfurled wings across her chest. The skirt split into layered panels, short in front to reveal her stride, cascading into translucent cream and gold veils behind her like drifting embers. Arm guards of polished gold traced her forearms, etched with living sigils that shimmered as she moved. Her boots rose to her thighs in crimson leather, threaded with molten patterns, each step leaving a faint glow that faded like breath on glass. In her hair, a radiant silver starflower clasped the waves of auburn, its light pulsing softly with the heartbeat of the realm. She was not crowned, but the world bent anyway. Nathan's transformation followed. His simple clothes reshaped into a velvet coat of sovereign red, embroidered in gold with the phoenix of Emberville rising along his chest and shoulder. A high collar framed his neck like a mantle of authority, and a winged circlet of burnished gold settled across his brow, its central ruby igniting with Illyrian's fire. The fabric moved like living flame when he breathed, and the ground beneath him steadied, as if Emberville itself had just found its king again. For a moment they said nothing. Valamont's wind moved through the trees and then stilled, waiting. Lyra looked at him, not as Empress, not as Axis, but simply as a woman who had come home to the man she chose.
Take me to Embervale, your kingdom, King Yael, my love. I want to call Embervale my home, and there we will make memories, just you and me.
Embervale has always been your home. It has been waiting for your presence. You are its empress. And there, I shall call you my wife, if you permit me, my Lyratheum.
You do not need my permission. I've always wanted to be your wife, my Nathan. You don't know how happy I am to be called your wife. And soon, you will see. You will be standing beside me as my husband and my consort. That, I promise you. Now let's go to Embervale. Your kingdom is waiting.
Nathan lifted 2 fingers to his lips and released a sharp whistle that echoed across the forests of Valemont. The wind shifted, and from between the ancient trees light began to gather. Embers formed into a magnificent horse Virion, his coat shimmering like molten pearl, his mane flowing with living gold fire. A sapphire crystal rested upon his brow, glowing softly. Lyra watched him in awe. Virion lowered his head, not in submission, but in recognition. When his gaze turned toward Lyra, the sapphire on his brow brightened as if sensing something ancient within her. Lyra stepped closer, her phoenix gold skirts brushing the glowing grass.
May I touch him? You really are impressive, Nathan. How did you tame him? He is so beautiful.
Nathan shook his head and placed his palm over his heart. Then he smiled.
I didn't tame him. Virion doesn't bow to anyone. He looks into the heart of the one who wishes to ride him and chooses a companion whose heart does not know cruelty.
Nathan mounted Virion first and then reached down toward her. Lyra placed her hand in his, and with a single smooth pull he lifted her up onto the saddle in front of him. She settled between Virion's mane and Nathan's arms, the warmth of his presence steady behind her. Nathan's hands moved briefly to guide her balance at her waist before resting lightly on the reins. As Virion shifted beneath them, flames rose along the horse's body, not wild, but radiant, forming a glowing trail of light stretching forward like a road between realms. Lyra held onto the horse's mane as the wind brushed her face. Nathan leaned slightly closer behind her and murmured. Within moments Virion stopped abruptly. No slowing, just stillness. They stood before the gates of Ember Vale. Lyra blinked in amazement. Before them rose the breathtaking entrance to Ember Vale, a radiant and prosperous kingdom known for its beauty and the power of the phoenix. Towering crimson pillars framed the grand gates, adorned with intricate gold designs and crowned by blazing phoenix emblems whose flames shimmered like living fire. The gates themselves gleamed with white gold metal etched with ancient sigils. Beyond them stretched a majestic path, lined with flowing fountains, crystal streams, and lush gardens bursting with flowers. Marble walkways curved gracefully toward a magnificent palace in the distance, its golden spires rising toward the sky and catching the sunlight. The entire kingdom seemed alive with warmth and light. A realm of royal splendor and peaceful harmony, protected by the legacy of the phoenix fire. Nathan dismounted first and lifted Lyra gently down from the saddle. From within the city, bells began to ring warmly, as if the kingdom itself was welcoming its king home. Lyra slipped her hand into Nathan's.
Show me the kingdom you wanted to give me, not as a throne, but as a life. Our home.
Welcome to Ember Vale, my kingdom, our home. It will just be you and me. Here, I am your husband, and you are my wife, my Lyra.
Just as Nathan and Lyra stepped past the great gates of Ember Vale, a small voice suddenly echoed through the warm air. A tiny winged creature streaked across the garden like a flash of silver light.
My king, how I long to see you.
Delicate wings shimmered as it fluttered toward Nathan before gently landing against his chest. The small fairy wrapped its tiny arms around him and nuzzled close, resting against the embroidered phoenix on his crimson coat. The fairy leaned against him happily for a moment before suddenly noticing Lyra standing beside him. It pulled back, turning its head curiously. Its bright eyes widened, and a mischievous sparkle lit them. Well now, the fairy said, hovering slightly in the air as its wings fluttered faster.
My king, who is this stunning beauty? Such magnificent divine sight. Did you bring me a wife, my king?
Nathan laughed under his breath, while Lyra raised an eyebrow, amused by the bold little guardian of Ember Vale. The tiny creature fluttered closer, its shimmering wings catching the golden light of Ember Vale. After hovering curiously for a moment, it gently landed on Lyra's outstretched palm, its small fingers resting against her skin as though testing her warmth.
Well, the stunning, magnificent, divine beauty you were asking about is my wife. My everything.
Oh, Crackus, I am too late. Where have you been all this time, my beauty, when my heart was lonely?
Then suddenly, the little creature snapped upright and bowed deeply toward Nathan. Nearly tumbling out, flew to his palm and knelt in reverence.
But forgive me, my king. I did not mean to covet your wife. Send me to the belly of the Valikusa if you wish. I deserve it.
Nathan, he's so cute. Can I keep him?
Oh, no, you can't, my love. That's exactly how you started falling for Michael. Because you found him cute.
All right, my jealous husband. I won't keep him. Tell me, little one, what is your name? And what are you?
I am Irius, Prince of the Okumaris, the Illusion Maker. We are the ones who veils Etheria and Embervale from prying eyes, and from the forces of evil that would dare seek them. It is my duty to guard the hidden realms, to make sure no enemy ever finds their way here. But today, it seems my greatest discovery was not an enemy, but the queen who stole my king's heart.
Before the little Okumaris prince could react, Lyra leaned closer and kissed him lightly. For a moment everything went still, then suddenly Irius began wobbling in the air. His wings fluttered wildly, his tiny body spinning in slow circles like a leaf caught in a breeze. Nathan, Lyra said, blinking in confusion. What's going on with him?
Well, a kiss from a woman tends to make them drunk.
Lyra laughed, the sound warm and bright, echoing softly through the gardens of Ember Vale. Nathan looked at her for a moment, warmth in his eyes as the bells of Ember Vale continued to echo through the kingdom. For the first time in centuries the land felt alive. But far beyond Ember Vale, across the distant lands of Avalos, where rivers wound through crystal villages and mountains circled the horizon, stood the Tower of the Dragon God. The immense tower rose like a divine scepter from the center of the kingdom, crowned by a colossal sphere of blue celestial fire. Rings of light circled the sphere like orbiting stars, casting a luminous glow across the land below. At the very top of that tower, inside the sacred chamber beneath the glowing sphere, a colossal figure rested upon an ancient throne. Massive wings folded in stillness, blue divine fire ran like a quiet river through the center of its chest. For centuries the chamber had remained silent. The braziers burned, the crystal pillars glowed faintly, and the great being seated upon the throne had not moved. Then thump, the blue fire in its chest flickered. A heartbeat, the first in ages. Energy rippled through the chamber, making the crystal floor shimmer like water beneath moonlight. Then again, thump slow, ancient, awakening. High above the kingdom of Avalos, the celestial sphere above the tower pulsed faintly, responding to the returning rhythm, and far away in the bright gardens of Ember Vale, Lyra's laughter carried through the air, unaware that somewhere across the world, something ancient had begun to wake.